Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, fellow fighters in the merciless struggle of life, pay great attention, because what I am going to share is not the gentle, consoling lullaby you might be accustomed to hearing. This is not the mild encouragement of a buddy telling you that everything will be okay, that the road ahead is clear, and that success is unavoidable. No. Today I am here to share the unvarnished, unedited reality. And the truth is that progress pays for suffering. Ask you to let that sink in. Let it etch its terrible reality into the very marrow of your bones and shape yourself. Whatever you want to call it, progress, prosperity, achievement is not handed out freely. Not granted to the lucky, the rich, or even the gifted is this. It is earned, battled for, and bleed for. It paid for with the currency of your suffering. Know this, the world does not care about your dreams when you set out to do something in this planet. It has nothing to do with your aspirations, your goals, or your wants. The world is cold, indifferent, and uncompromising. It does not extend its arms to you just because you so want it. Not sure. The earth will object to you. It will stretch you. It will challenge your very sanity for daring to dream in the first place, as it will create hurdles in your road so high and so scary. And it hurts as well. Oh, just how awful that will be. These are certainties rather than possibilities. The agony of failure, the agony of rejection, the agony of loss. You will run across them all if you are really aiming for something outstanding. More times than you could count, you will taste the bitterness of failure. You will experience the anguish of loneliness, the sting of betrayal, the stifling weight of uncertainty. Every step forward will be greeted with opposition. Every triumph will be hard-earned. Every failure will leave profoundly felt scars. The cost you pay for advancement, though, is those scars. Each one relates a tale of resiliency, tenacity, of a will to resist breaking. Every scar reminds you that you persisted, that you suffered, and that you came out on the other side not as the same person but rather as someone stronger, wiser, and more ferocious. Know this, your suffering is not evidence of weakness. It is not evidence of you veering off course. As it happens, it is the reverse. Pain is a signal that you are alive, that you are developing, that you are stretching beyond your previous range of possibilities. It is the fire that shapes steel, the pressure generating diamonds. Do you believe that comfort and ease helped the greats of this planet to attain their position? Do you believe they were presented their achievement on a plate of silver? Not exactly, they died for it. For it they suffered. They suffered restless nights, terrible failures, and the unrelenting grind of a society that said they were inadequate. They did not, however, stop. They persisted not once in doubt. Knowing that progress was worth it, they accepted the fight, embraced the suffering, and paid the price. You also have to be ready to pay such cost. If you wish to do something great, something really remarkable, you have to be ready to suffer. You have to be ready to give up, to bear, to keep on through the suffering others would flee. Consider the most painful events in your life, those that made you doubt everything, bring you to your knees or cause you hopelessness. Realize now that those events did not break you. They created you. They shaped in you a power you were unaware you possessed. They bestowed upon you a resilience that today permeates your own existence. They also equipped you for the challenges ahead. Still, be not misled. More suffering is ahead. There is a long path ahead for development, dotted with thorns. Every time you believe you have hit your limit, you will be driven onward. You will be urged to give more even if each time you believe you have given everything you have. And you will be confronted with still another test every time you believe you cannot bear another instant of misery. Still, know this, suffering is transient. In the great tapestry of your life, this is a brief event. It might endure 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, or even 1 year, but it will finally pass. And when it does, something rather amazing will occur. You will come out of the darkness and discover that you are not the same person you were. You will be stronger. You will wise. You will also be nearer to your target. This is the brutal truth of development. It is challenging. Fairness is absent. It is not considerate. Still, it's important. You have to be ready to go through the suffering if you wish to do something outstanding. You have to be ready to battle for what you desire, to suffer and to strive. And when the suffering strikes, and it will strike, do not flee it. Do not hold back from it. Accept it. Let it inspire you of why you initially set out this road. Let it propel you forward. Recall that each pound of suffering you go through advances you 1 step toward your target. Every drop of sweat, every tear, every restless night, they all are part of the cost you pay. You will discover at last that the suffering was well worth it, since advancement is the payback for your pain. Knowing that you did not give up when others would have, that you did not back down when the world sought to break you, gives one great satisfaction. It is the awareness that you have developed into someone who is unquestionably relentless and unbreakable. Thus, keep in mind that pain is the cost of development even when you are on the verge of hopelessness. It is the price you pay to be great, and the cost is reasonable. Face difficulty tall and stand. Clench your hands, grind your teeth, and advance. You are 1 step closer to the development you yearn for every painful step you take. Every drop of blood, every tear dropped, every moment of suffering, all of which is forming something inside you unbreakable. You surpass yourself in strength. Your pain tolerance is significantly higher than you would think. And what will distinguishes you from the rest is your capacity to keep on, to resist, to climb above. Go ahead then, accept the hurt, allow it, since advancement is the cost you have to pay for it, and you are more than able of bearing. You are able of surviving, of prospering, of perseverance in face of whatsoever obstacles. And when you do, that is, when you pay the cost in whole, you will triumph. Nor because it was simple, nor because you were lucky, but because you were ready to bear suffering others could not. You were ready to pay the price of suffering as you realized it was necessary for development. Here then is the suffering, my fellow soldiers. This is the fight, the difficulty, the agony. Here are the times that try our will and drive us to the brink. For those times help us to be formed. Those times make us strong. And those times help us to discover the actual meaning of development. Recall, the road to excellence is not one for the weak of heart. It is not for people who find solace or for those who avoid suffering. It is for people who are ready to fight, to bleed, to suffer. It is for those who realize that although suffering is unavoidable on the road, it is not the adversary. Thus, accept the suffering and wear it like a badge of honor. Allow it as a reminder of the cost you are ready to pay for development. Let it drive your will, your tenacity, your grit, and let it drive you forward, one agonizing step at a time, until you top your aim. You will know that it was all worth it when you at last stand at the summit and look back on the road you have followed, the anguish, the agony. You will come to see that you paid the cost and accomplished something others could not. And at that instant you will realize that suffering is evidence of growth, not only its cost. Go out there then and battle for what you want. Accept the agony, feel the anguish, and pay the cost. Since advancement is waiting for you and it is a prize worth every bit of suffering. One thanks.